Alright, so today we have a neat little product from Razer, the Razer Aether. I don't know how you pronounce that. Just these little light bar guys, right? Purely decoration, of course. Really no purpose, I think, other than decoration. But Razer didn't have anything like this before, and Corsair's had something like it for a while. And so I always thought the Corsair wasn't cool, and now Razer came out with their own. So let's check these out. You know, this is my Razer desktop, so decent sized box here. Razer came out with some of this Razer room type stuff, but a lot of it was white, which didn't make any sense because most of Razer's products are black. So I was glad this would match our setup pretty well. So pretty classic Razer box right here. And in there we have, looks like speakers, but they're not, there's little stands. So these are just basically feet. And they have some kind of padding on the bottom. You know, protective plastic around here. So really the bars will just kind of stand up their own, I guess. We got two of these. I don't think they're labeled for either side. Yep. And here we have the two bars themselves, which have paper over them instead of plastic, which is a nice little touch for Razer. And then there's the light itself. Oh, that's fascinating. I don't know if I expected it to look like that. They also have a little piece of plastic on the top here. Yeah, and then they'll just kind of sit in here, I guess. Yeah, so it's kind of reversible, right? So it's a weird little setup, really. Not that elegant, I think, for a Razer product. So I guess it depends if you want this to face you or not face you. So it is reversible, and to that extent, it does say Razer there, which is kind of nice. But yeah, so you have a little space in here for the cord, and then this little piece is a bit rubberized as well, so it just kind of fits in there like that, basically. But if you want to have it the other way, so that will have the black Razer side towards you. If you want to have the light side towards you without the black Razer, without the cord showing, you know, you can do it like that, which is how I'm gonna do it for the video purposes. So yeah, like this one, very short here, but this one is nice and long, right? But it'll be the same setup. Really nothing in here, just standard paperwork. I assume some stickers, yeah, stickers, and just paperwork. But I don't think I need that paperwork. All right, so I have them set up here. One interesting tidbit is that this cable is USB-C, which is odd, but this will be fun. So let me go ahead and plug it in. Woo! Well, that's bright. All right. I guess that is crazy bright. You may not want to have that set directly facing you. I was wondering how I was going to set these up here. I don't think they will be facing us, because that is bright. All right, let me launch Synapse. Synapse will probably, I'm positive it will do a software update. Crazy bright. Yeah, it's updating Synapse. It's pretty standard when you plug a new device in. Razer Synapse has to update. This is my desktop. Oh, so there's a gamer room button here, and you can see, oh, it doesn't show it yet. Interesting. Let me try to exit Synapse and relaunch it. I rebooted and it still doesn't see it. I still don't see it in Synapse in my dashboard. So I really had to Google it. This is kind of a fail on Razer product, which I've talked about in other videos. Synapse, their software suite is kind of a mess. I mean, I like Synapse, it's okay, I guess, but it's weird they have 3 and 4, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so there's gamer room thing here, and you have to click on add a new device here, and then you have to download the gamer app on your phone. So you have to install the Razer Gamer Room app on your phone first, and then add these devices to Synapse from your phone, which makes 0 sense. It plugs into your computer from USB, so I don't understand why you would do it otherwise. It doesn't make any sense to me. Now I have to get my phone out. So again, like I said, it's plugged into my computer, so I understand if it was just like plugged into the wall, sure, then you maybe need it. But so we open up the Gamer Room app. It's logging me in. I have to log in to Synapse. All right, now I have to create my own home here. I don't understand. All right, so now I have to add devices to my home. Now I had to allow, yeah, I gotta search here somehow. And so I hit add device, and it sure isn't finding it. Yeah, I don't know. Keep trying to unplug them and then replug them and see if that. Wait for a flashbang. There we go. So I had to unplug them and replug them, and then I found it on my phone. This is such a stupid setup process. I mean, I guess that means you don't have to plug that in directly into your PC, and you can just plug it into power, but then it seems like it'd be on all the time at that point. I think I'd rather be plugged into my computer. All right, now it says it's connected. So I have a little star here. More power required. Just plug directly into. Yeah, okay, so maybe it needs more power than USB can provide. I can see that, I guess, but hopefully I don't have to worry about it. Now let me turn the brightness down. So now that I have it plugged in there, now will Synapse find it? There we go. Customize. I don't know why they turned pink all of a sudden. Okay, let me turn the brightness down a bit. All right, so it only needs more power if you have it at 100% brightness, but 100% brightness is crazy. So I want to turn it down to like it's 58, I guess. You see this little pop-up you get. So right now it's set to spectrum cycling. Let me go to fire. Okay, so a fire I can see making it brighter. Yeah, it's pretty cool, a fire like that. You see I have my Razer PC here. Let me apply everything to it. So there we go. So now it's all in fire. So I have my Razer PC, this mouse, the stand, but the stand's not really gonna work. It doesn't adhere to the lights. That's something they can do. Well, let me just do everything breathing. How about that? Then we'll change it from green to red, and we'll apply it to everything. So you can see everything. Oh, it's bright. So let me turn it down. Yeah, so that's cool. We got spectrum cycling. There we go. So I have everything in the same color profile. That's nice. You can sort of see my keyboard off to the side here. And then let's turn it to Starlight. And we'll apply that to everyone. That's probably gonna be cool. Yeah, see, it's all one color. Let me put random colors. Yeah, and I'll brighten that up. Yeah, so that is cool. Static, obviously it's just everything one color, no big deal there. And then wave, we'll apply that. So that's probably gonna be a cool one with those guys. All right, it's not bad. I don't know what this is. This is like a power off button. What's this do? Identify. Oh, that's not neat. So if you wanted to identify, it will do that. That's good. And then if you wanted to power them off, you could just hit power off and they'll be off. That's good. And of course you have Synapse override. So when Synapse is running, it will take over the app and put them in here. That's good. I don't see the button that we normally see with Synapse devices about turning off when the monitor goes off. You see, so like if you go to lighting here, when display is turned off, it will then turn the lights off. So I mean, I guess that's so you can also handle it in the app, but it's gonna be, you gotta turn it. I don't know if it's plugged to the computer, it should go off of the computer. I guess that makes sense. It won't have any more power. All right, so let's take a look with the lights off. Hopefully you don't get scared. All right, so let's take a look at these. So that's the Wave, of course. Wave is gonna look cool for sure. And again, I have my Razer desktop, which has a Razer fan right here tied into the motherboard. The motherboard is the ASRock Taichi Razer Edition. Up top, those fans are the Razer Hanbo, same with the little circle guy in the middle. And then of course we have G.SKILL RAM, which will sync with Synapse, but it doesn't do all the same stuff. And then of course we have the MSI Liquid 5080 here, which will also sync with Synapse sort of, but then it gets this weird flashy effect. So it's always nice to have just straight Razer products. This is the Basilisk mouse, which I love. Over here is the Razer Black Widow, and then this is the Mouse Pro Dock, which is also very cool. And then the Tomahawk case is flashing. You can sort of see the motherboard in the background blinking. So that's the Wave, which is nice. And then we'll go to breathing, apply it to everything. So yeah, the RAM and the Suprim are a little out of sync, but that's okay. I wouldn't really use this effect in general. The lights behind there are the desk itself. That's the Nano Leaf lights. That is something to mention. Nano Leaf I thought would sync with Razer and it does not. So I try not to get my hopes up for these integrations because they don't seem to work super great. I try to stick to Razer products when I can. All right, so the desk is off in the background, so it should be, ooh, that's bright. All right, so now let's go to fire, and this is cool. Now we'll show you, so fire is really cool here on these sticks, and then everything else is working, but the other stuff, obviously the RAM and the GPU aren't working, but if we go to the studio, we can make that work. Spectrum cycling, that's just when they're all gonna say the same color. Boy, that's bright, look at that, that's cool. Yeah, that's real cool. Let's go to Starlight. Yeah, that looks cool. It's a real cool effect. Static, of course, pretty basic. I mean, anything can do static. That's only at 77 brightness too, so. And then, yeah, that's it, Wave. I will, however, let me turn these around. You can see how bright it is. Just pointing at the wall, it's gonna be kind of messy because I got this set up for background shot. But you can see there, yeah, so it's lighting up my wall pretty good. Look at that, that's nice. Let's just turn that to all static, and then let's just max that out. So you can see, yeah, it's pretty bright. Yeah, they're bright boys. All right, so that's cool. I like it. And again, as I mentioned, if you go to Razer Chroma here, like which is the new version of their studio, you update it. And then if you go to the studio option here, so that's the G.SKILL, that's the RAM, right? But if you hit everything, and then you can make it all sync up. Yeah, so now everything's gonna sync up. The RAM and the MSI are going to be a little different because they're not quite the same. So again, I have another video on this about the pros and cons of like the ecosystem, right? So yeah, if you go to the Razer Chroma app and you mess with the studio, you can kind of get the other components to work in, but that's not really what this video is about. So we're just talking about the lights themselves, the sticks. I think they're cool. I'm a pretty big fan of these. I'm glad Razer put them out. It's going to look good. I'm going to make some other Razer videos. You can see what the full setup and how cool a full suite of Razer products looks. I mean, this is a pretty good collection of Razer products, but I have a full suite of mouse pad and extra keyboards. I got the whole Fortnite suite we're gonna set up. So anyhow, check check those out. This is a short video. I mean, I don't know how short this is, but a decent sized video for just these guys. I think they're cool. They get the big thumbs up. All right, that's it. Thanks.
5 and for 12, yeah, 5 and for 12. I review lots of things that I try by myself. If you looking at some things, wanna know if you should buy it. 5 after 12, probably already tried it. Check out 5 after 12 on YouTube. They review products so you don't have to. This is Froggy Fresh signing off. Peace.